Guys, I've got a crazy one for you today with Ethereum. These are 4 really crazy charts that I want to run you through. With Ethereum, we've got some of the most bullish setups I've ever seen for Ethereum here. And you know what? If you've been watching my YouTube channel over the last months, every time we've analyzed Ethereum for you on this YouTube channel, we've been damn near 100% correct about our analysis. Now, I'm not saying that's going to continue, but we've got a good track record, so pay attention to this one. If you're excited, do me a favor, smash up the likes, double check that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on this very time-sensitive content. And let me just get straight into it, guys. I'm going to start off with a short-term chart before I show you these other crazy setups. We're going to be looking at Ethereum against the dollar and against Bitcoin. Some really crazy stuff here. You're going to love this video. Guys, get the lotion out right now. You're going to need it. And here we are. Like, take a look at this. So one of the key things I've been saying about Ethereum for a very long time is that we generally, if we break above this green line right here, this top green line right here, if we break above this green line, generally we're going up to the next one. And if we drop below this green line, generally we're going down to the next one, right? So we ended up doing that again perfectly, exactly as predicted on this YouTube channel. And now we're just kind of entering potentially this resistance zone that stretches on my chart between $1,670 and $1,800. Now, if we zoom out a little bit and take a look at exactly what this price level is, there's a lot of price history, a lot of reversals happening in this yellow box between these 2 green lines right here. Now, originally when Ethereum was kind of punching up to brand new all-time highs, we ended up finding a little bit of resistance here, fell below this area, just kind of consolidated, did some weird stuff here. It wasn't perfect, but this level was important. But it gets really interesting around summer of last year, 2021, because look at the bounces we're getting off this, guys. You know, Ethereum crashes down from $4,300 and it finds support precisely in this yellow box standing, you know, roughly $1,700. And not only do we find support here, we trigger a huge bounce to the upside. We're going up by 66%. Absolutely huge move right here, ladies and gents. And that also proves to be quite significant. Ethereum finds support here again and again, and then again earlier this year, in summer of this year. And now we have been finding resistance at this price area ever since we lost it back in June of this year, 2022. Are we going to be breaking this area as resistance, potentially rising up a little bit more? I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but right now it's good to see that we're at this support level. If you are a conventional technical analyst, then you're going to be expecting that Ethereum is probably going to get a little bit of a rejection here, maybe fall back down to our support level, capture a little bit of support here, and then rally to the upside again. Do I think that's going to happen? No, not necessarily, but that's what conventional TA says, and that's a pretty good setup anyway. Guys, while we're going on here, I'm going to be showing you some really cool opportunities for Ethereum. I want to remind you guys that this is tradable on Bybit. Now, Bybit has 0 fees on spot pairs, so if you want to buy Ethereum on Bybit, you can buy it without paying any fees when you sign up to Bybit using my link in the description down below. And you're also going to be getting free money to trade these markets, right? Up to $4,000 free money that's going to be credited into your account. You can buy whatever you like. You can sell whatever you like with that money. And if you make any profits, you get to keep profits on that cash. So go ahead and check it out, guys. Bybit offering you a huge bonus down there if you use my link in the description. BitGet also offering you guys bonuses. They're not as big, but they're much easier to get. And BitGet is available anywhere in the world without a VPN and without KYC. So go ahead and check them both out as we go on here, because you're going to see some really cool opportunities. And if you decide that you want to trade these things, it's going to be great to have some free cash so you can trade these things basically risk-free without actually even using your own money. So yeah, a little bit of resistance right here. We do also have a little bit of momentum resistance. Okay, if we look at the weekly EMA ribbon for Ethereum, this is definitely an important indicator in my opinion. You know, if we take a look at everything that's going on right here, I need a different chart for Ethereum. Let me go ahead and use this one right here. Yeah, I don't have as many drawings on this chart. Yeah, and this is something I'm going to be talking to you guys about in just a sec, but I think for now what I'll do is I'll just kind of remove all of these things. You know, we do have, I would say, a fairly important EMA ribbon right here on this chart, right? I mean, if you look at Ethereum throughout its history, it would bounce off this line pretty well, you know, to find support. Very nice, consistent hits. And then when it flips into resistance, wasn't really used over here, but we did use it a fair bit back in 2019 as resistance, right? Rejection 1, rejection 2, rejection 3, and then 4th time we had a breakout. As support, much more reliable, right? Bam, 1, 2, 3, nearly 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits on our support level before it ends up breaking. And now we are at rejection 1, 2, 3, right? So is this going to be a third rejection, or are we going to pump straight through it? Well, you know, like I said, this is a pretty important indicator, but we only really have this to go off, and it was useful as resistance basically 3-4 times only. So we're potentially, if we're following something similar to what happened here, we're potentially going to be able to break this relatively soon. And what I think is also great is if we look at the daily Ichimoku cloud, you know, when Ethereum has been able to overcome its resistance clouds, that's been a really big deal for Ethereum in the past, right? I mean, you know, here's a great example right here. Ethereum managed to break above its resistance cloud, and bam, 140% to the upside. You know, on this occasion, Ethereum broke its resistance cloud and 2000% to the upside. On this occasion, broke its resistance cloud 70% to the upside, right? So that's if we break our resistance. That's a really good sign. I mean, here's another example here. I mean, when Ethereum breaks out of these long-term kind of resistance zones, we're getting big fucking moves to the upside, ladies and gents. I mean, this is getting exciting. I'm not even at the best part yet. I'm not even at the best part, ladies and gents. If this is exciting you already, do me a favor and just gently tap that like button right there, because this is about to get even better. What I like about this is that we didn't actually break out of a resistance cloud. Our Ichimoku cloud was already green, you know, and then Ethereum just kind of went through it and got a little bit of emotional support, and here we are. So I'm liking the look of that. Now, while you guys are getting very, very excited, I want to reiterate and just kind of pause this video here and say that, you know, this doesn't mean things are going to move in a straight line. If you've been watching me for a little bit now, if you've been subscribed, you're going to know that I say this practically every fucking video. Things don't move in straight lines, right? I am saying quite a bullish case for Ethereum right now, and obviously it's not like that's the only perspective here, and I am going to give you the reasons that Ethereum might drop, because again, if you watch my previous video, you're going to know that we got to stay unbiased here, ladies and gents. You know, we got to be looking at both sides of the coin right here. So I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but you know, even if Ethereum starts to pull back, it's in a pretty strong position right now. I think that's worth noting. But bringing us back to the Ichimoku cloud, it's great if we get a green cloud, and it's even better if we get to penetrate through the green cloud instead of the red. It just shows us that we've got good measures of strength in the market. Also, I just noticed that we've got the 200-day moving average right now acting as resistance, so that's not good. The last time that we saw this line was over here, and the time before that was this rejection, and the time before that was this rejection. So this is a very important resistance line. We've already found resistance here twice. Are we going to find resistance here again? It would be quite likely. It would be quite likely that this area acts as resistance again. So please keep this in mind. I didn't even notice this until I started to make this video, but I want to show you some other charts. I want you guys to take a look at this one right here. Ethereum had this kind of long-term downtrend. This is basically from its all-time high down to, you know, roughly where it is right now. We got a really nice breakout. This is one of the lines that I deleted earlier on in this video. We got a nice little breakout here. This is on the weekly time frame, so we're basically at the end of the second week now, you know, after breaking out. So it's fairly safe to say that this is a confirmed breakout, right? I mean, we could just kind of shit the bed and then drop to the downside now, but you know, I mean, this as far as I'm concerned is a breakout. It's a real breakout, so that's nice to see. This is a confirmed direction for the price action, which I think is really nice. You know, we've been in a downtrend for a long time, so it makes sense to rally up. Am I saying that we're going to hit brand new all-time highs? Absolutely not, but bear market rallies exist, right? When you're in a bear market, when you're in a bad market that is just overall pretty weak, it's still totally normal for the market to have its times where it rallies up and, you know, starts to get a little bit of sunshine. So I want you guys to be able to keep that in mind. And the cool thing about this is that if we look at the target that we'd be looking at for this kind of thing, you know, all I wanted to do is just kind of, you know, measure what this looks like with a slightly smaller, almost symmetrical triangle, you know, from the bottom to the top, and that's going to be a roughly 173% move to the upside. So that's how we can get our target. We just kind of extrapolate that to our breakout point, and that gives us a potential speculative target of about $4,000. I like the $4,000 level, not only because it's a big number, but also because, let me bring my webcam back on. Bam, here I am. Also because $4,000 actually lines up with some pretty cool price levels, right? Take a look at this. If I just drop a horizontal line right here, I mean, this is an important level. It's an important psychological level, to say the least, but also just kind of, you know, look at some of the things that happen around these points on the chart, right? Especially over here. This is really what I want to draw your attention to. I mean, there's a lot of action going on at this price level. This is, I mean, the equivalent of Bitcoin's $17,000 level, you know, before we broke above 20K. So very, very important level in my opinion. I like the fact that, you know, when we get targets like this and they kind of line up with levels that we already know are technically important, then that's a really good sign. That's something which I really like to see. So I'm glad to be able to see that right there. the other chart, the second one that I wanted to show you, is this descending channel that Ethereum's been in. So Ethereum's actually been trading in a little bit of a descending channel for a good amount of time now, guys, and we've actually, we've just broken out of it quite nicely. So if I draw this for you now, again, I just want to make sure that you have a good mental idea of where we are on the chart, right? So we ended up topping out at 5K, big downtrend, bottomed out. This is when Bitcoin hit 17K, Bitcoin rallied up to 25, Ethereum comparatively went up to 2,000. And what we ended up doing after we had that kind of little bear market rally was Ethereum and Bitcoin, they both kind of entered, kind of downtrends. Ethereum's one was actually pretty clear to see. It looks a little bit like this. And what I'm liking about this, ladies and gents, is that we are right now in a situation, I think, where, we are right now, I think, in a situation where we've been able to break out of this descending channel, and we've already broken out by a good amount. I mean, again, we look at our standard breakout rules. We want to get above it by 1% or by 3%. This is a 17% move to the upside, and not only that, I mean, we've been we've been out of this channel for about 11 days. So again, when we talk about how do we know if something is a real breakout? Well, it's going to be how long have we spent after we broke out of it? Did we reverse in that time? If it's only been a few days, if it's only been 1 week, if we haven't gone up by very many percentage points, then these are all things that can make me feel like, okay, this might not be a real breakout. But what we have right now on this chart is, we've been broken out for a little bit of time. Like I said, about 2 weeks now in the weekly time frame. 11 days right here, a good 17% above our resistance. These are confirmed moves as far as I'm concerned. And obviously this is, your most typical bullish pattern where, you're moving up, you take a little bit of a breather, you move down slowly, and then you continue to move up, right? And that's basically exactly what we're doing. So how do we confirm this now? Well, actually, we've already confirmed this by breaking out and getting our 3% move to the upside and staying above for more than a day. But, the other way we can confirm this is by rising above our prior high, right? So that's going to be basically $1,800. If you guys have been paying attention, you're going to know that that is the top of my range on my previous chart as well, right? $1,800 right here. So, getting above this high, I could probably readjust this line and just bring this down a little bit and bring the box even lower. The analysis would still be completely valid, right? I mean, I drew this a long time ago. I didn't, care about being super accurate. It doesn't really matter. But this is it's the same price level on this chart right here. So to be able to rise above this high would be, another beautiful sign that we are kind of, back to trending up. And the reason that this would be a big deal is that we're setting, again, you guys are probably getting the picture by now. We're setting higher lows, and then hopefully we would also stop setting lower highs, right? So previously, what we've done since we've topped out at $2,000 for Ethereum is we've set subsequent lower highs, right? So if we're able to get above this high now, that means we're no longer setting lower highs, which is just another piece of confirmation that the market is bullish. And I think one thing that's really important to keep in mind about this, guys, for some reason people just really struggle to understand this, is that especially the way I see the markets now, I might not be 100% correct about this, but shit, let me know in the comments if you have a better idea. The way I see these markets is we've got a scale, right? And on this side we've got good reasons to be very bearish, and on this side we've got reasons to be very bullish on the market. So we're always kind of like somewhere in the middle, and on a short-term time frame when the price is just kind of not moving, we're right in the middle, right? There's not really a good narrative for being bullish or bearish, so the price isn't moving. Time is moving at a constant pace, but price isn't moving, so the chart just goes sideways. That's what happens when we're in the middle. Now, when we start to break out on small time frames, we move closer to the bullish side, closer to the bullish side, closer to the bullish side. And the more bullish arguments we can make, for example, rising above a prior high, for example, breaking out of a descending channel, for example, I'm going to come to this chart in a second, the Ethereum Bitcoin chart being in a very long-term uptrend. This is really, really exciting. This is probably the best chart I'm going to be showing you in this video. So watch out for that later on here. Again, if you're excited for that, just make sure that you are showing this video some beautiful engagement. The more kind of bullish signs we get, the closer we get to that bullish side, and the more explosive our price action to the upside gets. And then obviously things get a little bit too out of control. The price moves up too quickly, and then we have to very quickly correct back to the bearish side. So that's the way I visualize these markets. I've made that analogy with you guys in the past, and I think it makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, we're never like black and white, hot and cold. It's always going to be kind of somewhere in the middle, and it's about, well, where are we on that spectrum, right? That's the question that I'm interested in asking. I think a lot of people don't even consider things like that, but you know, these are the kind of things that I would say are very much going to be important to keep in mind in these markets, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. You know, for Ethereum right now, I like the fact that we've gotten this kind of descending channel breakout. And here's the other good news, right? If we kind of look at this chart right here, you know, this was a 31%, again, just measuring it from the first time on the chart where the bottom and the top of the line, when the bottom line and the top line have been met. So that's over here, that's where that condition has been met. We're measuring a 31% move to the upside. So again, we look at our breakout target, and that's 1850, right? So it's a little bit above that $1,800 level. Again, these are kind of lining up more or less, which I think is really, really good. You know, and so that's nice to see that we are potentially looking at that breakout. Now, this I think is less likely because, like I said, this is a short-term chart, and you know, short-term, there are reasons that Ethereum can pull back, right? I mean, you know, again, I think the biggest one is just basically the fact that we're at resistance, right? And so fuck me, you know, we tend to drop at resistance levels. It's just what happens. It's just normal. We've already done that. We could definitely do it again, and then, you know, kind of come back up. Now, I don't necessarily want to see that, and I don't even necessarily think it's going to happen, but you know, it would make sense. I don't want you guys to be closed off to those kind of ideas just because, you know, you're invested in these markets. That's not a good thing. I mean, you need to remain unbiased, you know, as much as you can, really, unless of course you're in a trade, and if you're in a trade, you need to have conviction, but you've still got to check yourself. You still got to make sure that staying in your trade is a good idea, you know, because if you don't do that, you might miss out on profits. You might end up closing a loss, and so on. So you don't want to kind of fall into those traps, and these are the kind of things that we tackle inside of FourFly's VIP. I wanted to highlight this to you guys. If you go into the description, click on this link to join FourFly's Gold, that's going to take you over to a screen that looks a little bit like this. This is my free Telegram channel, and you can click on my name at the bottom of any post inside of FourFly's Gold. You can also join the channel, of course. That's where you get more kind of updates from myself and my team around the clock, and then you can message me to ask me how to join VIP. So go ahead and check that out if you want to join FourFly's VIP. That's where you can see how I'm trading these markets in real time, right? Because I'm ripping trades in these markets. I've been trading Ethereum, I've been trading Bitcoin, and so on. You know, and I'm happy with how I've been trading. You know, I don't trade as much as people think I do, which I mean, I don't know why. It's not like I give off the impression that I'm a day trader, but some people do think I trade every single day. Obviously, I don't. I have a fucking life, and I like to make money. So I wouldn't trade every day because it's near impossible to make money if you trade every day, unless you're like a very specific level of autistic. It is my theory anyway. I don't see, like, you know, quote unquote normal people trading successfully, you know, on very, very short-term time frames. It's just not easy. Your brain needs to be wired differently, and I'm not one of them. You know, I'm a normal trader. I'm happy with how I trade. You know, and if you want to see what that looks like, how that translates into these markets, then these are the steps to join VIP. You're going to be clicking on each of these red boxes to ask me how to join. It's a direct chat with me. You can ask me any question you like, and we'll get you inside, you know, in prep for you know, Q4 of this year, because Q4 is always very, very exciting, right? So well worth checking it out to get yourself inside right now. But the other chart that I want to show you is this cup and handle right here. So again, we're staying on the USD chart right now, but this is a potential kind of cup and handle formation that we're seeing with Ethereum, where you know, ever since we kind of topped out at $2,000 earlier this year, we kind of, you know, just formed a cup shape right here, and then a handle. And this is a very common, you know, I could probably punch this into Google. You know, this is a very common pattern that we get in financial markets, where you know, we basically curve down. And I think it's important, you know, the way I like to do this kind of stuff with my videos is explain to you what these patterns mean, right? And so what we have right here is that we hit a resistance line. That's what we call our neckline. We hit a resistance line, and then we're kind of slowly selling off, but then we're slowly rising up with the same kind of intensity, showing us that, you know, things are kind of evening out. But then again, we find resistance, and the reason that this is good is that this means selling pressure is being exhausted, right? So here selling pressure is being exhausted, but the next time we're not forming such a big cup, right? That's why we call this a cup and we call this a handle, because the first time there's a lot of selling pressure, it takes a long time. The second time the market is a little bit more excited, so the selling pressure isn't able to take the market down as low, you know, and so we're finishing off with that stuff fairly soon, and that means, you know, as we're exhausting the selling pressure, we're able to get our breakout, and then ideally we even get our back test. You know, we get that kiss of life, as I call it. We get that back test, and then bam, you know, we ride off into the sunset with all of our gains, ladies and gents. And what does that look like here? Well, we've got a very similar pattern. This is exactly what we're seeing with Ethereum's chart right now. It's not on as big of a time frame as I would like, but this still stretches all the way back to September. So I think it's I still think it's worth kind of paying attention to. And and this is a nice it's a nice range. What I like about this chart right here is that this cup and handle formation. The how do I call this? The depth of the cup stretches about 35%. So again, if we can do that we can throw this on top of our breakout point to show us where we might kind of break out to, and then what kind of price level that puts us at. And 35% to the upside gives us a nice target at 2200. So again, some really cool charts here, ladies and gents. It's all kind of coming together. I like the look of this. I think that it's valid. Cup and handles, they're pretty strong patterns overall. I mean, generally you want to see them play out over much longer time frames than this. This isn't such a long time frame for a cup and handle pattern, but we're still looking at something pretty damn good. I like what I'm seeing here, guys, and that's before we even and now we're on the Bitcoin chart. I mean, that's all before we even look at the Bitcoin chart. But I think this is even more important because I think most of you guys are like me. You've got a good size of holdings in Bitcoin, right? But you're going to be interested in how can you grow these Bitcoin holdings. And man, for a long time, we've just kind of been trading sideways here. This is a long time. It's 544 days. I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a year and a half to me. Very long time indeed. That we've more or less just kind of been trading sideways. But one of the cool things that's happened because of that is we have actually formed, an ascending triangle of sorts. And there's a few different ways you could draw this, right? I mean, you could even, I'm even potentially seeing something a little bit like this, where, if we just kind of take this orange line as resistance, or maybe bring it a little bit lower, whatever, it doesn't really matter. What you can generally see is that the market is finding higher lows, with exceptions. The market is finding higher lows, but still kind of finding resistance at the same level. And guys, that can't last forever, right? I mean, Ethereum has been finding resistance here for a very long time. This chart stretches back 3 years. Okay, the beginning of this line is at 2019, where we've consistently been finding higher lows for this market, but our highs are not moving. And if we zoom in and we look at what happened ever since kind of spring, summer of last year, 2021, like I said, we've been holding the same damn resistance level for so long. Eventually this has got to give. And I was saying this the last time I analyzed Ethereum for you guys. I'm saying it again. This resistance level can't hold forever. We've tested it so many times, guys. We've tested it so many times. There's 1, 2, 3, fourth time we broke it, but I don't want to count that. 5, 6, 7, and now 8, right? And if we do count the breakouts, which arguably make this even more impressive, like I said, I mean, how many more times is this gonna keep Ethereum held back, especially when that pressure is moving, very clearly is moving to the upside? Our lows generally are getting higher, right? Again, we look at how our lows are moving, and there are exceptions, but we're recovering these exceptions fairly well. This to me is definitely pointing to some nice upward price action for Ethereum. And if we do get a breakout, we start doing the same kind of extrapolation to look at what our targets are looking like. That's 148% move to the upside. That basically more than doubles Ethereum's price against Bitcoin, taking us up to 0.2 BTC. I don't need to tell you what that means. I mean, that's absolutely huge. That means if you're holding Ethereum right now, you're looking at potentially, I mean, let's say you got 1 Bitcoin worth of Ethereum. After this, you could be holding 2.5. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but guys, Ethereum, it generally moves better than Bitcoin. Ethereum has overall kind of been moving better than Bitcoin ever since it launched. If we look at this chart and we just kind of take off all of our lines right here, Ethereum is very clearly in an uptrend. Ethereum is very clearly outperforming Bitcoin, has been outperforming Bitcoin throughout its whole life. And yes, there are big exceptions like what happens right here, but generally, if you're not buying like an idiot, really, for lack of a better word, Ethereum, this is the logarithmic scale now, so we're getting a much more fair perspective of what's been going on with Ethereum. Generally, if you're not being an idiot about this, if you're not buying things when they're too expensive, I mean, you've I don't want to, not to call you guys idiots, you know what I mean. I'm just saying this stuff for brevity and for a little bit of spice on this YouTube channel. But generally, guys, Ethereum is moving better than Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. you know, if it's been a long time since we've seen that kind of progress happen for Ethereum, you know, and now we're really knocking on the door of a heavy resistance area, guys, I mean, what do you think is going to happen if we break this resistance area? I mean, it looks quite obvious to me, really. You know, I mean, I don't like to say that things are, you know, 100% or super obvious or anything like that, because obviously that in itself is a dangerous kind of pitfall to fall into as an analyst. But guys, fuck, like, I mean, this is looking pretty damn clear to me right now. You know, we look at this resistance area. It's been holding us back for so long. Like I said, you know, kind of 540 days. You know, if we get a breakout, I mean, what's above this resistance area? We're on the weekly time frame right now. There's no resistance above, you know, 0.08 BTC per Ethereum token. You know, and our all-time high against Bitcoin was 0.154. Now, this is the chart of Ethereum that people aren't generally looking at unless they know what they're doing. So if you're already looking at this, then good stuff. And if you're not, you need to check who you're getting your information from, because this is the more important chart. It doesn't matter what you're making against the dollar if you would have been more efficient if you stayed in Bitcoin, right? I think that's a really important thing to be keeping in mind. Most of the people that are getting into most altcoins are losing money because they're outperforming, they're underperforming against Bitcoin, and they're probably just underperforming against the dollar as well anyway. You know, so this is something that I think is well worth keeping in mind, and this kind of gap very much, you know, possible to trade again. I mean, just to get back up to our all-time high against Bitcoin is a 100% move, which means you'll double your money. And again, you can trade this with 0 fees on Bybit, and of course, guys, Bybit goes way above and beyond that, because of course you can trade Ethereum against the dollar as a perpetual contract as well, right? So this is where you can trade it on leverage. This is basically the primary form of trading that I do, where you know, you can make way more money than what actually happens in the market, because you can leverage it up. It's basically like, you know, this is the same concept as a mortgage, only obviously with leverage you don't have to go through the boring, annoying stuff of getting a credit check and stuff like that, because the collateral is just your own money, so anybody can access it. There's no, I used to wonder how leverage would work. I used to wonder, you know, like, do I need credit, you know, do I need a history, whatever? Like, no, of course not in crypto. If you don't understand how that works, then do me a favor, guys, just punch this into the YouTube search bar. I think it's actually, I think I always link it in the top comment of my YouTube videos as well, so you don't even need to do this. You can just go to my top comment of this YouTube video, and you can watch my video on how to trade, and I actually explain this stuff pretty well for you guys. So those of you that would be interested in that kind of information, go ahead and check it out right there. But I think this is definitely a very exciting chart right here, giving us a quite nice target for Ethereum. And ideally what I would like to see is, yeah, like I said, like I showed you right here with this, you know, we want to get that back test that I showed you on Google Images. So that's already drawn here as well. You know, I want to get that back test, see what that looks like, and as long as we're able to find a little bit of support right here, you know, that's going to be my big sign. And this chart moves slowly, you know, so I think that there is a really good chance that Ethereum is going to be able to do this. And I think a lot of this is contingent on, you know, does this market stay bullish? You know, right now we're in a pretty damn bullish space overall. I've been saying this for weeks. It really felt like a broken record. I didn't feel comfortable saying it. You guys heard me talking about this extensively. I mean, I was really people were at my throat about this, you know, saying that I think Bitcoin can be bullish right now. But, you know, just like I said in the last video, guys, you know, the correct time to be bullish is when the market is low. And obviously it's not fashionable to be bullish at that time, right? I mean, everybody wants to be bearish. The fear and greed index alone, you know, shows us that pretty damn clearly. Let's see how this updated. Yeah, I mean, we're getting out of fear now. We're approaching you know, neutral territory right now. So let's see how this continues to move. It's probably going to jump up even more by the time this updates, which is going to be in 14 hours. So you know, I think that this is something that's important to consider. You know, but when I was making these predictions that I think this market can pump up, I mean, we were still in extreme fear and nobody liked what I was saying. But of course, again, you know, I say it on practically every video these days, you know, I'm not here to agree with you guys. I'm not here to get in a fucking circle and, you know, pat each other on the back and you know, feel a sense of camaraderie here. I don't care. I just want to make money, you know. And if that's you, if that kind of resonates with you, if you're not here to you know, if you don't want to hear stuff just to feel nice, but instead you actually want to hear stuff that's going to make you money, you know, then this is the place for you. And of course, then that means VIP is for you as well, because that's exactly what I'm bringing to you guys inside of VIP. But crucially, you know, this YouTube channel, the Fourflies, the free Fourflies Gold channel that you can join by following this link in the description, these are all about analysis, right? The VIP group that you get when you message me, when you follow each of these steps, when you click on each of these red boxes, the VIP group that you get when you message me, that is about trading, right? I mean, it's about trading plus the analysis. You're getting all the analysis. You're getting even more analysis than I'm giving you guys here on YouTube and on Telegram, but you're getting even more analysis, but you're also getting the information on my trades. So and that is everything from top to bottom. There's a lot more inside of there than just the trade. There's actually a long list of benefits. You guys are getting exclusive VIP breakdown videos. My favorite aspect of VIP, actually, it's where I'm breaking down the trades that I'm making, really going into the very minute details about each trade. I don't make these videos on each trade. I make them just whenever I think the videos would be particularly useful, but there's a long list of content in there which you can watch that's backdated, and it's just really good case studies of what I did in my trade, the mistakes I made, the good decisions I made, why I made those decisions at that time, and how I can improve my trades in the future as well. And if you're not on that kind of journey as a trader, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So this is the kind of thing that you're getting instead of VIP. It's a very intense experience, especially if you're coupling that with our 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗍𝐸 courses, where you can learn how to trade from my course, how I trade, how I analyze from A to Z. Very much quite an in-depth package that you can get all together, where you get the theory with the course and the practical with VIP side by side. Very powerful indeed. If you want to get yourself inside, these are the steps. And guys, like I said, Bybit offering you guys the ability to trade these things with 0 fees as well, with derivatives as well. You're getting a $4,000 trading bonus, and BitGet also offering you guys trading bonuses that are a little bit easier to get without a VPN and without KYC as well. So Bybit is actually available in most places in the world, but some places it's not. BitGet doesn't have that problem. So, and they're both basically the same. I mean, they offer the same products, and they're both just as reliable to each other. So well worth checking them two out, guys, if you haven't done so already. And if you have, but you want to get the free cash, you can make a new account. So go ahead and do that as well if that's something that interests you. But there you go, guys. That's Ethereum, that's Bitcoin as well, a little bit in this video. Very much some quite exciting stuff here. So I hope you have enjoyed this one. I'm going to be making a video later on tonight about Bitcoin, so make sure you watch out for that one. Very exciting day in the market. If you've enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Smash up those likes, double check that you're subscribed, that you got the bell icon checked as well, so that you don't miss any of this very time sensitive content. And I am super hungry now, so I'm going to get going. I'm out. Bye-bye.